Hello everyone, so welcome back to my channel. Let me just get the road first. So I'm using my ring light today, which is why it probably looks brighter in my setting. And actually just that's nice also makes me realise how curly my hair is. Look at that. My hair is naturally very curly. Wavy curly. I'd say it's been a long wavy, it's not quite curly, I say. Enough for that. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. I thought I might do a little video today just to gather my advice I would give to first year my students. I do have a vlog on this, which may like be a bit better for some people if I or slash might give you a bit more detail, which I will link in the description. But yeah, I think science degree you're gonna be like, I don't know what to expect. I kind of want to make you kind of get an idea of what you should expect from starting your degree. So I'm just going to say, the first thing I'm going to say is if you're doing a maths degree, most you do require high grades. I'm just going to say that for anyone else who's watching it also just thinking of doing a maths degree, you do usually need at least an A. I think there are some with B and there's some foundation courses out there. But the majority of unis want an A for maths to do a degree. That may vary depending if you can get a contextual offer, etc. I might do a video explaining what those are and applying to uni. And yeah, so you've probably been good at maths. You may have done fair for maths. Most unis do require fair maths. There are some that don't. Again, I will make a video trying to kind of explain the university process. I didn't prepare for my state level, but I've always loved math. And yeah, I think the first thing I'm going to tell you is don't expect it to be the same as secondary school mathematics. It's really going to be different. And by that I mean, in secondary school mathematics, you probably went by a lot of examples. You probably kind of like, so you learn the method, do a few examples, and you got how to do that. And then you'd see that method a lot in exam questions. And I would say that university mathematics isn't quite like that. University mathematics, you have, usually you'll do four main things. Either usually algebra and the slash geometry kind of stream, analysis stream, like some applied mathematics. So we do usually some calculus, like applied to real life. So I did methods applications, which mainly focus on physics applications. I think every uni is slightly different, so please check individual requirements. But I think most first years are going to be the same, and then second year obviously you're and then you're most likely going to do some sort of statistics and apply that by statistics probability. My one focus, of course, focus a lot more on probability. And probably some programming. Now, I know most unis do a little bit of programming, but it's more in like introductory modules. We had a whole module on programming, but literally, I will say every uni is going to be very different on how much you do. I think we had a whole year module, so I've done all of it in year one. I had a module that's overall worth 20% because it's on my final year grade, because it's the first year grade, because it's a whole year module, all on programming, and it was actually quite a good module. It was quite useful. We used MATLAB, just using Python, but that's the point. So that's, I don't know what other unis do, so that I think a lot of unis have an introductory, almost like this is maths, like, and teaches like LaTeX and stuff. My unis don't. And don't go in expecting secondary school mathematics. Like, really, like when you if you do that and go into analysis lecture, you would be shocked. I would say probability and statistics at my uni, it was similar. You kind of built on from GCSE A level. Even some of it was a bit similar. I think that is because most, obviously, everyone just pure. You all come from slightly different backgrounds. I don't know if in IB there's a focus on stats and mechanics as there is in further in A level where you have to do stats and mechanics. So I think that's why they do try and teach stats and mechanics, but from a bit lower than kind of expected. Like they expect you to have some knowledge, obviously. But I think there is a bit less expected than you'd think. Um, So that I would say obviously might be similar, but you are learning in a different way as well. There is a lot more focus on proving. For example, we did De Moivre's theorem, which is basically just like a probability rule for convolutional probability, and we had to prove that in full. Whereas in a lot of statistics, I would say in secondary school is more you're taught something. You're not taught why, but you're taught this is why, this is this, and whereas it's a lot more proof. Now, in the exams, I found you didn't really need to prove, but it's more to help you understand the methods. But you're learning it in such a different way. And the other thing is analysis. Now, this is the one everyone kind of, I would say, personally struggles with analysis. Most people struggle because it's so different. It's a lot of proof, logic. Like, the first thing you do is like logic statements, true and false, and that seems easy, but it gets so much more complicated from that. And I think you need to be really open-minded and really you need to enjoy some proof. You need to practice your proof. Now, if I think this is the thing, you may don't go in there so mathematics unless it will be different. Analysis especially, and even algebra. You may think algebra, oh, I've studied algebra before, but you've not studied it like this. You've not gone into all the proofs as why stuff works. Algebra is a lot more matrixy. It's not like expanding the bracket, etc. It's a lot proof based still as well. And you've got in the exam, etc. I had to prove a lot. I had to show, well, because of this. Using proofs we've learned to prove other stuff rather than direct calculation. There is some direct calculation, I won't lie there, but there's a lot less than you think. And I thought I learned in algebra 1. Hey, but I'm just quick thing. But we learned stuff like we did learn some set theory. We learned some simple stuff, as you may say. But we also did some really hard stuff. I'm just getting this up quickly while I talk. But yeah. I think you've got to go in with a really open mind. I'm trying to think what we learned. I kind of forgot everything I've learned in my courses at this point. As in the topic, but actually a set theory, oh, this other thing. And then the functions, and then complex numbers was a topic which you may know, but it does go into more detail. Prime numbers, you think you know them, there's a lot more details in prime and why modular arithmetic, that might be newish to you. You might have done bits of it before, but fundamentals of arithmetic and like you learn prime factorization, but you learn why this works. It's more you need to know, it's more complex and it's used in other scenarios. It's more to build upon some of this stuff. And yeah, De Moivre's theorem with those polynomials, we see a bit on matrices, not on those. That's more in 1B, but like 1B literally focused on matrices to such an extent as well. I think that's all, and then we did a bit on groups and that stuff and group theory. Like some of these concepts seem simple, but they are actually harder than you think. And in analysis, we did a lot on. At the start, it was a few true and false, like, and then like truth values, I think they call it. But that's not all you're learning. To give you an idea, I'm just gonna. You do a little bit of. Right, I'm just gonna go for a few random topics I learned. Here we have to learn about natural numbers, the real numbers, solve some inequalities. It's mainly in sequences and series, and then there is a bit on functions at the end, and like what's an exponential function. You go in more detail that semester 2, and then you go into limits of functions, the analysis and proving why differentiation works, why integration works, key concepts of that, field axioms, like why those work. Yeah, it's more complex than you think, and I think you need to go over more. You're going to learn a lot of proof. It's going to be difficult. Like, that is the main thing I want to say, but it does get easier. I would recommend before you start, if you can, to buy a book. It's called, let me look exactly well, How to Study a Maths Degree, and I got this just over a year ago. I've read most of it. Like, I've not read all of it, but I know it's really helpful from what I've read. I've read most of the book. You might need to read all of it, but like honestly, it's £15. It's a helpful book. Yeah, and it probably help you figure out. It'll help you show you how you learn maths and how like kind of put all. Make sure you don't come with this false preconceptions in mind. And so that's the main thing. It's going to be different, and it may be difficult. The second thing, which I think is also important, you really do not need to buy every textbook that they suggest. So I don't know what every uni's like, but most of unis have reading lists. And obviously, I mean, if you humanities subjects have this more so, I know it's harder to find them for like maths I found in general, but there is a maths one at my uni. And I looked through it and thought, oh, I could do it. Yeah. Oh, I could get all these books. I didn't gift vouchers, so I did get a few books. I never really looked at a lot of them. I did look at one of them once and etc. And I'm gonna next year put more effort to do looking through textbooks, especially with them, to give me better understanding on some of the topics where I'm not getting them. But honestly, you don't need all. Like, if there some subjects will give you 5 textbooks for a module, like that's half a year module, and you do not need 5 textbooks. I'm just telling you that now. Like, you probably need one, I'd say, and try and get like if you can try and get it cheaper in the library. Most libraries, uni libraries, have it online. Really good tips. Just try and see if you can download it, and usually you can download it to your computer, so you don't have to worry about trying to access it again. But honestly, is it worth getting 5 books? No, just get the one which they kind of recommend the most. Usually it will kind of have one saying, this is most similar to the course, get that one. Or there might be one that says, oh, this is more background reading, which might be good to get maybe in summer holidays if you get your reading list early, but like, usually, like, just get one book if you really want to get a book. I don't really open my textbook section, and most people don't. I say textbooks still are useful to an extent, but you don't need all of them. You don't need to spend £500 textbooks. Also, some people you might find some unis they sometimes have sales at the uni. I know they didn't last year. Mine, I don't think. Might be because of COVID. As far as I knew, I think there might have been something actually, but I might have missed it. So I was like, oh, I have my voucher. So that I still have the voucher because I didn't really buy that many books. Like, for next year, I've told myself I'm probably going to buy the books, but like, it's pre-reading, etc. as well. So yeah, don't buy yourself every book. Like, don't waste money on stuff you might not read. And then this would more probably just apply for other science literacy, but like, just buy one book that's probably the most recommended. Or some do, but you need to have like a textbook. So yeah, my third tip is, yeah, as I said earlier, it's going to be hard, and you're not going to may not do as well you think, because you've got to remember, yes, you were top of the class at school, but so were probably most of the people, and I know that can be like tough to think, and it really, especially I am such a perfectionist, and when I got to uni, I was getting less than first, etc. I was always getting above 70-80%, and suddenly I wasn't. It is a bit of a sad, but also I knew, for me personally, I know first year I didn't. First time I didn't put as much effort as I probably should have, because of everything, it was just hard as time was on. I was just like, it was easy to get distracted when I first moved into my flat, etc. And doing that, just from a home. Sorry, I'm just looking at my house because she's digging and being little. I'm just making sure she's okay. But yeah, you may find that you may find you're not doing as well. You might find you're getting 50s, 40s, maybe even nearly failing modules, maybe that, and you were doing really well, and that's okay. Failure is how we learn. And at the end of the day, you're not gonna immediately get to uni and understand it all, because it's such a new way of learning. Like, you've got to be easy on yourself. You've never learnt maths like this. You've never like maths. It's different, and you've just got to remember that you only do as best as you can, and you will learn from this. Honestly, if your uni's offer you feedback and you've done bad on the module, try and get feedback. It will really help you in the long run. It will make you see why you're not doing as well as you probably should be. And also, email lectures. Just do everything you can. But at the end of the day, if you're not doing as well as you thought you are, then just figure it. It might be hard to figure it out. But keep persevering. You're not going to do badly forever because you can do it if you put your mind to it. It's going to be difficult at first. I'm not saying that, but you can do it. And the fourth thing I would say is don't concentrate on others. Like, as I said before, you may not do as well as you think you're going to do. And you might be disheartened, especially when you hear, I know, loads in a group, how you go like, oh yeah, I got 90 on this assignment, or I got 85, blah blah. Because that is a bit more hurtful than maths. I know some people will be going, what? Some have is because obviously it is a bit more right and wrong. So compared to essay basic, it's a bit more likely. And we don't get curved as much. It's only if people do really badly, they'd curve up. But if you've not done as well as you expected, and you hear other people saying, boasting, like, don't compare yourself to them. You're different people. People get stuff at different rates, especially in first year. You're not expected. I hear some people get 2 huge grades in first year, and then go on to get amazing grades, do amazing things. Also, it's hard to understand at first. And you're going to have to put loads of time and effort into it, and that is okay. As long as you are happy, don't worry about what everyone else. Like, if you're happy with 50%, 40% because you really struggle with that module and just passing is a relief to you, you have a right to be happy about that. And don't let anyone make you feel miserable for feeling happy for getting a grade that some people would consider lesser than. So yeah, I think that is a really important concept. Number 5, give yourself that time to relax. Give yourself a break. You deserve to have a break. I know last year, for me personally, didn't really let myself have a break. I was constantly working. I barely had weekends off because I was just like, if I have weekends off, it's time to revise, etc. And I should put sorry. Yeah. So, what did I say? Yeah, you may find that you feel like you need to be doing work, and I feel like I, in the end, realised this and gave myself like weekends half off. Like, I do stuff, but I'd also try and do bits of a revision. Because if you don't give yourself to relax, it's not going to go in at the end of the day because you're too focused on, you're going to be stressed, you're going to just be working all the time, and it's not going to be good for your mind. Like, give yourself breaks. Breaks are important. Like, if you're not giving yourself breaks, you're going to burn out very easily. And I think it's okay to admit that you need a break sometimes. So I think sometimes just sit down and relax, have a break, even if it's just going for a walk. And that's also a good point. Try and change the scenery up if you're working at home. And my fifth and final tip is just keep on top. Sixth and final tip: keep on top of your content. Maths is a hard subject, and if you're not keeping on top of stuff, it all kind of follows on from each other. If you don't do that, you're gonna struggle because at the end of the day, if you miss one little bit of content, it's like a domino effect. If you miss one bit and go, I'll look at that next week, it kind of topples over and you'll be like, I do not understand this because I don't understand this piece from this week that makes you not understand. And as soon as you don't understand something, go and try and make yourself understand as best as possible. Even though it involves talking to people, most unis have support. in Bath, we have MASH, which is Maths and Statistics Help. So yeah, try and find support and try and do everything you can. Try and do everything you can, I guess. So yeah, that is my overall advice, I'd say. Just make sure you kind of take it easy. See, you have fun with it. And if you enjoy maths, you will like these through, but just remember it does come with hard work. And I'll see you next week or this week maybe, feeling good with another video.